Welcome back to the next instructional portion for the assembly of the Renard Plus TR16. In keeping with our shortest to tallest assembly process, the next part we're going to install is going to be our diode bridge. Let's see if this will be a unique little part in your kit. Notice it looks about the same size as one of the 6-pin sockets, but it only actually has 4 pins on it. This one is very specific on the way it has to be oriented to be installed in its slot. And here's where the diode bridge goes. Notice that there are little emblems inside each of the pins. This one is polarity sensitive, and I'm going to try to show you the diagrams on the pin itself. Here's plus, there's minus. Up here you'll see a couple of squiggly lines. If you follow the diagram, here's plus, there's minus, and the 2 squiggly lines. So I believe we need to rotate it up and around. And let's take a quick look, make sure that is the right orientation. I'm going to zoom in as much as we can and see if we can get some focus on this. Hopefully you can see that, and we'll slide this over, that matches up to the holes on the PCB. This one does not have a socket. This is actually the first part in our static sensitive bag that we showed you in part 1. But diode bridge is not static sensitive, it's just a series of diodes. So I'm going to take this, we're going to insert it into the PCB. Okay, and this one's actually tight enough I don't even need to put anything over it. All I gotta do is just flip it over and solder the connection in. Now, given that this is an actual IC, it is a little more critical on this one that you get it soldered in quickly as possible without any undue heat. Well, if you noticed, the last one was also our infamous wagon wheel, which we sit here and talk about. Not too much heat, and you have to pour heat into that one to get it to work. And the chip is quite hot. Let's see how this looks like. And those look good. We'll flip it back over. Zoom back out a bit here. All right. Next part in our vertical hierarchy, you might say, i.e. the next tallest part in our bit, is going to be our ceramic disc capacitors, which these are them. You will notice a set of small numbers appear on the face of this disc. For this particular one, this 104 is the proper number for the 0.1 microfarad capacitor we need for this job. This is probably one of the less expensive ones. There are others that can use, as long as the voltage is proper and the capacitance is the right value, then you should be good to go. Okay, there are actually 5 of these. I'm going to start with the one closest to the communication socket here, which is actually C4. These are for C3, C4, C5, C8, and C9. And if you can notice, here is, in fact, let me back up. I'll point out the little C4 on the silk screen. Here are the 2 pads. These parts are like resistors. There's no polarity to them, so there's no concern about which way it goes, and these leads are spaced out enough. You should be just able to slide them on in. There we go. Flip it over. Pull it. This one, you kind of pull it up tight because it will fall out, and spread the leads just like you did with the resistors. Now, when you do this, you have to see if you can. Let's see if I can show you this. This thing is loose; it floats around. What we're going to do is it won't fall out. So what we'll do is we'll solder it in, since it's on a wire connector. Very simple to just solder it in and then deal with the whether it's straight or not afterwards. So we'll solder these in and clip off the pins as we've been doing all along. Okay, I believe that's got it. Snip these suckers off. Then you can flip it over, and if you're anal like me, let's get it back in the middle, make it straightened up. So it looks a little, well, that's not very straight, is it? A little better. And repeat the process, and we'll completely repeat the process for the other 5. I'm going to point out where they all go, and then we're just going to speed the video up like we enter the black hole again. So here's C8, C9, and I believe there's C3. It looks like the silk screen is messed up because of where the hole for this resistor is. The final positions here, this was C4, C3, this will be C5, C8, and C9. Once again, I've mentioned these wagon wheels a few times. These capacitors are called decoupling capacitors. And every single one of them terminate to a ground plane. So you noticed me spending a little extra time trying to make sure the solder sticks to that wagon wheel. And I believe that has it. I'll snip these off. Make any adjustments we want to how the little boogers sit in there.